We're relying on our audience to help keep Headhunter Productions alive at this point, so help us out by going to greenmangaming.com or doing other things. Help Headhunter Productions by being active in our community of sponsors, because YouTube sucks. Head down below. Hello, audience! Hunter here, and welcome back to the Many Homes of Hunter. This is an episode of the Many Homes of Hunter that I've been meaning to do for a long time, but I needed to get the MMO subscriptions in order. This is the MMO episode of the Many Homes of Hunter. And fortunately, for this particular episode, there's really only two MMOs that I got into enough to get into the house building. And in general, there's only about 4 MMOs that I've ever picked up. I had the shortest fling you could ever imagine with Adventure Quest, and I have an uncomfortable amount of Puzzle Pirates under my belt. But there's 2 others that I got really into. And the first one that we're gonna go over is RuneScape. I have over 2 months worth of playtime in RuneScape, so I've put a lot of work into the house. I have a level 68 construction in particular. Now, it's also worth noting I don't like construction in RuneScape because house building in RuneScape is a ridiculous money pit. Like, you have to pour a lot of money into a house. I sent out a tweet while we were on break. There's a polar bear in that well over there. I sent out a tweet while we were on break telling Jagex to actually lower the prices of some of the building materials because some of them go up to 1 million for crystals for furniture that I have to build. I still have to go get more marble blocks, which cost 300,000 a piece. But anyway, my player-owned house in RuneScape is situated in Remington, which is just off of Port Sarim. For those of you who don't know, it's the town I kept going to see if they changed the boats or not. Anyway, so let's head inside. I recently actually did a whole bunch of renovating, but this is the house as it stands now. I use this particular style of house because I liked the way it looked. A lot of people actually use this style of house. This house is actually more optimized for guests and having house parties more than anything else. So we'll start with this side of the house here and work our way around. This is a skill room that has absolutely nothing in it. I could put 2 sets of armor here and here. But another thing that I could do is I could put a trophy over in the corner, but those are ridiculously rare, so I haven't. Anyway, so we head upstairs. This is a quest hall, and over there is my dark light, an amulet of glory because free teleporting. There's a Softar painting over there, which is the elf lens, which I still have to do the elf quests. I don't have access to the elf city yet. Map over there in the corner. Right now, this is actually just a placeholder room, and I don't know what to do with it, but I just need... So I put a parlor here. Right now, the parlor only has 3 chairs in it, but it leads directly over into the fight room, which is, well, it's self-explanatory. It's a fight room. I recently upgraded to the combat ring. It used to be a fencing ring, which the fencing ring you can only use swords and nothing else. The combat ring is no holds barred. You can do whatever the hell you want. The combat room leads directly over into my study, which I have decked out to the best of my ability. It has a really good lectern over there. I recently upgraded to the Crystal Power, which is the highest level crystal that you can get. I also have a lunar globe that's relatively new. I built that while I was on vacation. In fact, I moved the entire room up here while I was on vacation. It used to be down next to the menagerie over there, which I'll get to later. I recently put up the astronomical charts, upgraded the telescope. This is a teak telescope, which is tier 2 out of 3, which this has like an 8-minute prediction window of where stars are gonna land. I'm not gonna go after that one though. The astronomical charts are new. Mahogany bookcases. You'll see a lot of mahogany bookcases around. Those stairs, they look like they go up, but I can't actually build higher than this. It's just these stairs are really glitchy, and that visual right there of the hole in the floor, I hate that. And I might actually just abandon the whole thing. Just go with the standard staircase. But I do like the floor there. This room over here, I didn't even know about that this room was a thing that I could build until I came back recently. This is the aquarium, so I had to build everything that comes with the aquarium. So we have the bathysphere that actually goes down into the actual aquarium, the oyster hunter diving suit, which is the tier 1 suit, driftwood pawnbroker, which is tier 1 again. A swordfish that I actually didn't have to catch the ultra rare swordfish to hang this one up, because there is another one for the skill hall, which is the ultra rare big swordfish that you have to catch via fishing. This is a standard swordfish, which I like a lot more, and it actually looks way more impressive. Hello. Fishing net, which is tier 1, and maps, which is also tier 1. This is actually a relatively high level room, so... Anyway, we go down into the aquarium real quick. I have a couple things down here, a couple fish, sharks, swordfish, tuna, and some salmon. There's oysters all over the place, which the oysters I need because what I like to do is whatever jewels I get, I bought like 400 gold, and I convert everything into rings, and then I sell the rings. It's a decent profit, and it's good for experience in the long run. Oh, there's the castle decoration. I found a treasure chest, but I can't access it. And the mermaid's purse over there. There's also the White Wolf Mountain decoration down here. The castle, you saw. There's a bow and stern section of a ship, which I figured would look better if they were both right next to one another, because that would just make more sense. So anyway, we head back up. I'm pretty sure I'm fairly certain that this either has to go on the ground floor or in the basement. Anyway, we head over here to one of the newer rooms in the house. This is the throne room. I recently upgraded it with a trapdoor, and I just got this. These are very popular at house parties. It's more it's more popular for someone to have the trapdoor that goes down into the dungeon pit below. And, well, I don't actually have the construction level for that. I guess you could say that this house is lower upper class, maybe? Because I actually have the throne room with the cage and the thrones and everything. I put this right next to the entrance portal because this is usually a popular room. Or at least it was when I played this game actively. We head over here. Another skill hall, which I had my one set of Castle Wars armor, which I'd love to play some more Castle Wars to get more armor, but no one plays Castle Wars anymore. I don't know, maybe I should try it on an actual Castle Wars dedicated server. There's my crawling ham, which is one of the easiest Slayer things to get that you can actually, like, hang up, I guess would be the word. My chapel with my new organ. It's brand new. Some incense burners. I recently got rid of the icon in the middle there. I'm gonna swap that out later. I moved my costume room over here. It was way over there in the corner, but it made no sense over there because you had to go outside and around a corner to get to it. And I got tired of it, so I put it over here. It's way more convenient over here. I like it a lot better over here. Anyway, we head down to the basement, which was recently completely redone to accommodate for a dungeon, which this is the new dungeon. I put some skeletons everywhere. This is the pit that I mentioned that the trap door goes down into. Mine has the spikes, and obviously that ladder goes back up to the throne room. The basement is still a work in progress. I have to go and complete the quest Love Story, but right now I'm trying to get my stats up, as you can see over here. I've been trading wood cutting like crazy. That's why I got the cape. This is another quest hall. I went out of my way to make sure that everything in this quest hall was different from the one upstairs. So this one has the Cape of Legends, Excalibur, another map, Karamja painting, and a portrait of, I think it's the girl from the Plague City quest. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, this is the games room, which actually used to be directly below where it is right now. It used to be down in the basement. It used to be the only room down in the basement, and I recently upgraded the crap out of this place. I upgraded the attack stone to be more durable, even though it still breaks in a couple of hits. Or at least it would if I was using my crystal daggers. Alright, it broke. A dartboard, that's new. I need to put the chest back in here, the reward chest. We'll go out here first. This is my menagerie. I recently got the Arctic theme, and I upgraded the pet house and the pet feeder to mahogany, which is that's a couple tiers up from the basic. The menagerie is really useful because I can store all my pets, like I can store my Willy cat and not have to do anything with the cat, my raven. Over there is my I think that thing was actually in one of our RuneScape videos really early on, but it's the blue-haired unicorn. Anyway, over here, my portal room. Okay, I don't know what that noise was. Anyway, the portal room, I still have yet to decide what to do with the third portal. This one goes over to Yanel, and that one goes to Camelot. And I also upgraded the teleport focus. This is a tier 2 out of 3. Anyway, we head back over. Starting getting to the more basic parts of the house. The dining room, with mahogany table and benches, as well as, I think these are teak wall decorations, and these are really good curtains. Well, they're not the best curtains. They're better curtains. I don't like the tier 3 curtains because they require gold leaf, and gold leaf costs like 100,000 coins. One of my 3 parlors. I think this was actually the first room in the house that like the first room that the house came with. So this is like the first room that came with the house. Anyway, head over here. The workshop. The workshop has moved around a couple of times, I think. I could be wrong about that. But it's got a pretty high tier workbench, maximum tier clockmaker's bench. All of the tool storage things, armor repair stand, and a banner making stand. I actually just made a banner. My current family crest is a bag of money, which cost 500,000 coins to set it as that, by the way. Anyway, parlor number 2. This one I consider, for the longest time I considered this the room full of rarer chairs. Because there's a rocking chair in here. You have to have a rocking chair because it's animated. There's a teak chair. And, of course, the mahogany chair, which right now is actually my favorite chair. Even if it doesn't move. All of the fireplaces in here are limestone. Because marble is expensive. Kitchen with the cushion basket for the cat. The larder, which for those of you who don't live overseas is a pantry. I just upgraded this sink from a pump and tub, which is tier 2. The sink is maximum tier. Everything in here is actually fully decked out. Except maybe the shelves. The table, that's relatively new. I just upgraded to this fancy range. You only need steel bars to upgrade to the fancy range, which is really convenient for me. Because I just take my, my steel bar, reserve, which I buy 1,000 of them at a time to make cannonballs. And then I just take some leftovers and make furniture out of them. This is Chef's Delight over here, which is, I think this is actually the maximum tier keg. So this is like really good alcohol. Anyway, heading over, this is the master bedroom, for me, the master. Limestone fireplace, mahogany grandfather clock, which I think is the maximum tier. I think I could upgrade those teak drawers. There's also the dresser. And of course, some nice wall decorations. Decent carpet. I don't get the tier 3 carpets and curtains because again, they require gold leaf, and I don't want to spend the money on that. I mean, I have the money, not right now though, but I don't want to spend the money on that. Anyway, then we have the butler's room, which he won't let me upgrade his bed, but he has some decent stuff in here. Decent curtains, a good carpet, the limestone fireplace, a good clock, some teak drawers, and decent dresser. But again, he won't let me upgrade his bed, so he's stuck with the tier 1 bed. I could fire him and then rehire him to upgrade the bed, but that's time that I don't have. Anyway, we head over here to the middle. This is the courtyard, which is in a constant state of improvement. The imp's fountain is new. Obviously, there's the Windtumber tree from Christmas event long time ago. Was when you get the Windtumber tree. There's also a maple tree over here and a yew tree. Some tall plants over there. The portal to get into the house was actually here for the longest time, but then I got the formal garden and moved it over there. So things are constantly being moved around here in my RuneScape house. There's probably gonna be a follow-up episode for this particular house, 'cause everything's in a constant state of changing. 2 levels from now, I'm gonna replace the grass out here with snow, because I like the snow better than I like this tall grass. I can get rid of the unkempt grass, but then it just looks like the formal garden grass, and then the formal garden grass blends in with everything else. And I didn't like that. I like the formal garden actually looking mowed compared to the rest of the lawn. The formal garden itself has these stone walls and decent hedges, sunflowers and rosemary, because that's all I can grow. Obviously, I use the, every time I build, I use the T, so that I can get that 2-level bonus, which is really useful. And, yeah. And that is my RuneScape house. It has taken, several years to get to this stage, but that's how it be right now. It really is astounding how much changed between me deciding to do this episode and then actually doing this episode with this. That's how rapid the changes for this house have been. So that's the RuneScape house. Okay, so the only other MMO that I've actually dedicated myself to building a player-owned house is WildStar. Now, funny thing about WildStar has the best in-game house building in any MMO or any game in general ever made. There is to be no argument with this fact because you could just do a ridiculous amount of stuff with it, which I managed to do with this game. Anyway, getting started, we got these two things, which I still haven't decided what to do with, but trust me, the rest of the house isn't like this, because we move over here, we have my half pipe. This is just for hoverboarding, which I do a lot of, even though I don't have one equipped right now. Here we go. This is a standard hoverboard that I use. Well, actually it isn't. This is a newer one, but you get the idea. Shooting range over here. I think these are... Yeah, this is just for tons and tons of people attacking all at the same time because they have 100 million health. Anyway, moving on. A defense turret right there. This over here is like a just sort of a. I couldn't come up with an RV, so I came up with a shipping container that people could just sort of live in. Because one thing that my house also serves as is kind of a guild hall for a guild that we never had. The farm. The farm, which I still have to harvest, but it does have these two guys over here, sort of an enclosure, but the enclosure keeps getting broken because I keep upgrading the farm. Housing expedition, which is I forget which one this is, but it's there. This over here is sort of the entrance to the starport, because we got all these different ships around, including that one. But yeah, this is a sort of spaceport that I came up with. Multiple different landing pads. This one I actually built myself. You could actually put the ramp like right up next to this landing pad, and then I propped the ship up on the landing pad. And this is actually one of the really rare things, I think. I don't know. It did take me forever to find it, though. But then there's that ship down there. So yeah, there's two of them. There's the purple one over there. And then there's this one over here that I actually built out of parts, which is insane. Try and zoom out. Like, give you an idea of the parts that went into it. 2 different wings. A gun, another gun, yet another gun, a smaller gun, a claw, that satellite dish, the bridge, the body itself. Oh, I fell off. The landing pad that it's on is actually, like, increased in size, like, a ridiculous amount to accommodate for the ship's massive size. But anyway, there's the fin up top, there's the satellite dish, a rear gun, the engine, another fin, and then there's the hatch on the side there. The symbol right there needs to be moved so that it's actually sitting on the wing, but I'll get that later. There's a smaller rear gun, a drop pod, and an exhaust pipe. And of course we have the welders working on the hull of the ship, of course. Just make this whole place look a little bit more lively. That's also what these guys are for. Just sort of sitting around the table here, having a meeting. There's a Dorian Walker right there. What's her face in the back? Sophia. Hologram of Commander Crichton. Not the one from Red Dwarf, though. Anyway, I put the ramp on. There's also a door. There's a door, but when you open it, it doesn't go anywhere. It just sort of does that. The door's actually from the Red Moon thing that they recently had. There's a tank, and a, I use that to pretend it's an air traffic control tower, but then there's also the very large communications relay up there. Anyway, we head over here. Got a random machine over here that I didn't know what to do with. Small camp. Training ground. This was part of a fabrication kit that you can place down. It comes with the platform, which has a couple of things to do, the target dummies, as well as a couple of other things. The festival, which is this is actually a top tier festival fab kit. So I put this down, put a couple of sort of NPCs around just to make it look a little bit more lively. This part's actually still a work in progress. Another tank. This over here I put because I needed it. This one is more functional than anything else, but I put some rocks around it to make it look more like it blends in with the rest of the whole scene. Now, before we head inside the actual ship, I added a couple things to the exterior, like the exhaust pipe. There's a garden hose that attaches to the landing leg because the ship rarely goes anywhere. The house itself is actually... I wanted to get the rocket house that comes with the pre-order, but I came to this game really, really late. Luckily, what they had on Steam was the Captain's Pack for $10. So I got that, and that came with a rocket house. And then I upgraded... everything on the rocket itself is actually maximum tier. Like, you can swap... let me actually show that. I think, it's remodel. You can remodel the wings. Those are the standard wings, which are harder to jump on top of. There's the two different paints. I liked the lava paint because it looked a little bit nicer. That one looks more like stone. You can remodel the door, which I absolutely did, because that looks boring and that looks awesome. You can also redo the cockpit, which that was the standard cockpit right there. I went with the much bigger, much better cockpit, which also comes with those two larger engines. And you can also see I put the weather vane up top as well, just for fun. There's also a hatch up there, sort of leading inside of the ship, as well as the Marauder symbol right there, and a clothesline attached to the ship because that's just adorable. Yeah, I also redid the ground. The ground that I'm currently using is the Elevar, which I forget how expensive that one is. The sky is... which sky is this? Tropical. I like the tropical because it was nothing crazy. Like, there are crazy ones like this one, or what was the there was also this one, which is in space. There's a couple of them that are really, really disorienting. Like, I think, yeah, this one was really disorienting because, Jesus Christ, you feel like the whole thing is moving when it isn't. But then there's the Fantastic Voyage one, which I did like. I don't like the overly crazy ones, but there are a couple, like, there are a couple that I'd settle for, like, there was one, oh, the snowfall is kind of nice. There's the sunset, and that just looks incredible. Or there's the I think that, yeah, this is just some light rain. Or there's night. I think this one's the standard. No, it can't be. It's too kind of grainy. More snow, dark. Just some standard stuff. Anyway, I planted flowers around the exterior of the ship and put a couple of rocks around the landing site. There's, you noticed all the trees around. That's because I want this place to feel very forest-like. And then, so I put trees everywhere. Whatever trees I could actually get my hands on, actually. There is no, like, pattern to it. It's just whatever trees I could get my hands on. Anyway, we head inside. Now, the interior of the ship serves as both my home and a guild hall. So like, right as you walk in, it's the guild hall. Over here we have our stockpile of explosives and whatnot. Over here we have our card game with various different chairs. I wanted it to feel like very ragtag-like and sort of have like trophies hanging up everywhere, which is why mostly left up to the trophy corner, which I'll go into in a second. This is sort of a makeshift lab over here with like a microscope and sort of whatever I could get my hands on, really. A sitting area with the fireplace, just make it feel very cozy with the incredibly fuzzy rug and two sofas and the chair. A range over here, because I actually ran out of space to put things, so the range is just over here. A couple things up on the walls. Our Christmas wreath. The bar, which I put a whole bunch of stuff on. I think that's the that's the 3rd anniversary cupcake right there. Some toast, a bit of food. Just make it feel a bit cluttered, honestly, because we're really tied down for space here. The treasure hoard, which I got the idea for the treasure hoard from the treasure room in Adventure Time, which is when you walk in, they just have piles and piles of gold. So that was the idea of the corner over here. A TV over here in the corner next to our game corner. And then over here towards the front, we have some Dominion, a Dominion painting with a spear going through it, which, yes, you can do. I also did the same thing with this bust, have some giant broadswords going through it. Again, I love the house building with this. It goes all the way down to that backpack there in the corner, which the backpack is there, like, you know how people put backpacks by the door. So the backpack is there, like, I'm heading out. Hey. Another painting up there. And then we head upstairs. And this is where the house building really gets impressive, because, yeah, I actually built these stairs, and then I built the 2nd floor. So there's 2 floors to the whole place. It's awesome. There's a couple things hanging up here, some Christmas lights, there's a disco ball, then there are crates inside the netting there. Just whatever lights I could get working in here. This is sort of a living quarters corner over here. This is a control room, which is basically whatever monitors and stuff I could conjure together. It's kind of limited, but there's a decent selection. And these actually do a couple of things. That thing down in the corner which is, there it goes. It takes a second to actually get it to do stuff. The captain's chair right there. A couple of other things. The lever doesn't actually do anything. They're just fun. Or the radar screen right there. That thing makes an annoying noise, so I keep it off. Over here we have the main guild meeting hall, which is centered around this table with sort of just the guild's odds and ends cluttered around the table. Piles of coins, some sandwiches, maybe some drinks, and a fruit basket, maybe a gun or two, a sword, some knives. You know, just make it feel a bit more homely. There's a message in the bottle over there, actually. A TV for, like, getting calls and such. And there's also this eye over here so that people can, like, you know, this is for, like, Skype calls. I pretend it's like a webcam and people can, like, sit in on the meetings if they're far away. There's a poker table over here that I haven't decided what to do with, so it's just sort of over here in a pile of stuff. The TV is for when we want to sit down and watch TV, and then we have the giant marauder symbol right there to symbolize, I don't know what we stand for or something. Over here is the closest thing the ship has to a bridge, actually, which is, it's a whole load of monitors and the actual captain's chair right here, which really hard to get out of, but I put whatever I could right here. This right here is actually a teleporter that goes to Red Moon. That's a Red Moon teleporter, but it's a computer, so I put it on the bridge. And it's a unique looking computer too, so I was really happy with how it came out. There's also a whole load of big monitors. This right here, sort of where the helmsman would steer the ship, because there's the two control the two joysticks right there. Just pretend that there's a camera on the front of the ship or something. That ladder goes up to the hatch on the top of the ship, but of course it's not functional, because that would be weird. Anyway, there's a crate right there. That crate, hang on. That cage up there is actually supposed to be facing the other way, but it isn't. So it's hanging from the ceiling. It doesn't look half bad though, so I kept it like that. Some speakers up there, like for alarms and such. And then just a couple of more trophy cases over here. Bar symbol, and of course there's a thing hanging up over the bar, some trophies and whatnot. I think that was a boss up there, actually. Like, when you get this bar, you have to put, like, a trophy right there. It's practically begging you to put a trophy right there. Anyway, then this, I'm particularly proud of. This is my personal quarters back here. I keep it behind this door. It's completely separate from the rest of the hall, and it feels like a whole different environment back here. So I put loads of pillows back here, all these rugs, a whole load of plushies, whatever I could honestly get my hands on, actually. Just make this feel way more comfortable than the nitty and gritty feel that you get with the rest of the ship. So there's a fireplace back here, sort of a wardrobe area back here behind the divider. My TV, my high-definition television, work desk with a tablet, with the sort of TV up in the corner, because whenever I sit down, my character looks up and over to the corner. So I put a TV up there to make it look like she's actually looking at something. Couple of trophies back here, including this one, which I think there's like 3 of those. There's piles and piles of pillows everywhere. Some scented candles. Actually, they're ice frost candles. I pretend they're scented candles. Holographic projectors, some paintings and whatnot. Some chandeliers, some those Christmas lightings those Christmas fixtures that you see throughout the rest of the ship. There's a couple more of them in here, just to make it feel that much more cozy. There's a dartboard with a knife going through it. Actually, the knife is part of the knife is actually part of the dartboard. Never mind. I thought that there were a couple of darts in... Yeah, there are a couple of darts here that are for, like, throwing at the board, but, yeah. Some books, more plushies down in the corner. I tried my best to cover, like, every inch of this place with something soft and fluffy, except maybe the bookcase. The bookcase itself, actually, there was a while where I was collecting books. There's a statue on top of it. There was a while where I was collecting books for this shelf, including, I think that this one right here is a very specific book that's not part of the rest of that stack. 'Cause these are stacks of books that you can increase and decrease the size of. So, I just sort of fit them in there wherever they would go. See, it's just fill it up to the best of my... But actually, it's that large book up there that's actually not part of a stack. Because that's a very specific book. I got most of this stuff off the auction house. From my PvP dollars. Calendar. Which should show the first of the month, but it isn't. Which is really weird because this game has a day-night cycle. More dressers. I like to keep the plushies in a row up against the wall here. It's very cozy. And, like, the wall goes up very, very nicely. Like, it serves as a good divider. I really appreciated WildStar for its house building, because you could do so much with it. It's actually the best house building I've ever experienced in a video game. And I have friends who agree with me on that. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal house building. But that'll do it for the MMO episode of The Many Homes of Hunter. What did I just turn off? Probably that lamp. Yes, I did. That'll do it for the MMO episode of The Many Homes of Hunter. I think next up is going to be some follow-up episodes for, actually, no, there's a couple more of these still in the works, but this is the MMO episode that I've been meaning to do for a really, really long time. Thanks so much, guys! And I will see you in the next video. I don't think there's an easy way to get up to that, blimp. I have tried, though.